Hey everybody, I'm uh, I'm in the middle of trying to fix some bugs in my app. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. Happy Easter for those who celebrate. Um, my name is Jacob. I'm a college professor, and I'm trying to start a software company building apps that help solve problems for people. I'm currently working on an app. This is the preview of it up here. That's a note app that's specifically designed to meet the needs for neurodivergent thinkers. Um, so you take, just the world is busy or it's just it has too much contrast or things like that. It's not necessarily built to make it an easy onboarding experience for neurodivergent thinkers. So I'm trying to help address that problem. And right now, the app's just really slow. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Yesterday I talked a little bit about some of the problems I've had leading up to this point and starting over again. Um, Let me talk a little bit about how I go about vibe coding in case this is something you're interested in trying. So for about the past 5, 6 weeks, I've been experimenting a number of different ways to use AI to help me write code because I am not a coder. I know some basics and I've learned a lot through this process, but really prior to all this, all I really knew was some HTML, right? Enough that I could um, have a basic understanding for what was happening on a web page when I was looking at the code or how to embed things into something I was doing for work. That's kind of all that I knew. But now I understand things a lot more because of days like today where I'm trying to debug problems. Now it's depending on there's a lot of different ways to do vibe coding. Um, what I'm doing is I've put the app onto my desktop computer and I'm using either Claude Code or Codex, which is ChatGPT's editor. And so the code is on my computer and I'm giving it access to address the code there. And that's my favorite method for sure. That page took forever to load. That's the problem I'm trying to solve. Is it's being really slow for some reason. That was fast. That was fast. And that's what I had to try to work on down here. So the process, there's a lot of different ways to do vibe coding. You can do it in the cloud through something like using the app directly. Like I've done this with Claude Code, where it can kind of build a prototype for the app using JavaScript, but it's not really a final product in that form. Not really. There's also a lot of websites and things that'll just kind of do things for you if you're using like Replit. I tested out Replit. It's kind of cool, but I ran out of credits really fast. I find that paying for a subscription for like ChatGPT and getting Codex, that's where I'm getting the most bang for my buck right now, um, for sure. If that's something you're interested in, yeah. Anyway, so today I was able to make some improvements on the kind of the visual language. I'm working on fixing a couple features and the speed of the app for sure. Um, One of the original ideas for this app in particular was the trying to remove the friction, that entry point for someone who might get overwhelmed with just ton of ideas and being kind of overwhelmed that the ideas are not organized. So the first idea that I had with the app was, well, let's just make it so that it's easy to capture information, and then once you've captured information, maybe AI can help organize things in the background. I got a little stressed out by doing that because I felt like I didn't have a whole lot of control for how things are actually organized. Um, so I'm trying to add a little bit of hierarchy back into it. That's not quite completely built out yet, but I'm working on it. Right now, I'm just trying to fix the speed on this thing. It Anyway, so what I'll do is I'll I'll talk to it down here. It'll tell me it'll get to work thinking. It'll tell me what it updates. And we just kind of have a conversation throughout the process. So anyway, that's the process I'm following right now. Some of the things that I think I want to add to this app, some of the features that are really important to me, is that you can do just as much with your voice as you can by typing things in. Um, that's important to me to work on a lot of different devices. That's important to me. That its layout is designed to meet the needs for neurodivergent people, but also just to be ADA compliant in general. There's a little bit of conflict there because super high contrast images, um, not exactly what research says for neurodivergent thinkers. Um, so you'll notice this is I'm going to bring this a little bit closer. So you see we've got some contrast here. We've got white light, probably white cards on like a warm background, um, using sans serif fonts for the most part, just a little bit at the top. That isn't really simple colors. That's largely so it's not a distraction. There's not a whole lot going on to distract you from what you're working on. The idea is to make it easy to get into the environment, to focus without being overstimulated and without getting distracted. That's kind of the idea. And too long didn't read, right? Terms. I'm trying to make this as research based as possible, but if you have recommendations, I would love to hear them. Let me walk through a little bit for what we can do right now. Okay, so that was pretty fast. You see, it's flashing two different things. It's fighting some of the ideas for the layout right now. Also need to fix that too. Okay, so when you enter the app, up at the top, you can start taking your note right away. You can take audio dictation. You can't see, I don't know, I'm trying. Audio dictation, you can also like take a picture or upload a picture and it can digitize it. That's one idea. So if you like doing hand notes, but then you want to have a digital system, that's what that's meant to do. Then I have some of the recent notes here, so you can pick up on those. And that's moving pretty quickly right now, which is good. But moving back, that's switching between like a markdown view and not. It's like half committing to what Notion does. I don't know, I prefer not to have the preview. Just have the preview without the other view. Anyway, I'm talking fast. I apologize if this doesn't make much sense. Okay, that wasn't too slow. The idea from here, once you have your notes, I'm trying to add this different way to view it. That this hierarchy is not really working yet, but AI synthesizing some actions together. I don't know that that's completely built out yet, but you can ask questions about your notes. That's where the AI is built in to do that. That's built on the back of ChatGPT API keys right now. See, backtrack. This graph isn't quite working. It's trying to make like a visual representation for how your ideas relate to each other. I'll bring this a little bit closer. It might make a little more sense. So these are, I have 4 sample notes in there right now, and so it's trying to make a connection between them and show how they kind of relate to each other a little bit. It's a start. I'm trying to make it a little more visual without, I don't know. It's an idea, but I think I'll also have kind of a listed hierarchy as well as this, so that we can appeal to different needs for different people. Okay, so we backtrack. This is the basic retrieval screen where all the notes are at. And if you've tagged items, you can pull them by tag, so you can kind of get categories this way. There's a night mode, so you can switch, or dark mode, so you can switch back and forth. And you can kind of change some of the visual highlights, which you can't see from that distance, but working on it. I want to build this out so that it feels really simple, but it has all the power that anyone would need. One of the use cases that's important to me is live dictation. So let's say I'm in a meeting. This is super useful, and I really like this a lot. I'm in a meeting. I want to be able to have the app take dictation for what's being said, but also be able to take notes at the same time without having to do two different things. So that's one thing I want to build into it. So it can take the dictation. You can kind of add annotations to what's going on in the same moment. So you can track your train of thought while that's happening. And you kind of have those two voices. I want to build that out. I think that's going to be really helpful and useful. Maybe add a little more visual within reason. But I want to create the app that I feel like I can come up with an idea, I can put it down, and I can get back to it easy, but also the app can help me draw connections that maybe I hadn't come up with before. That's kind of the goal. So, anyway, that's my progress on this, you know, Easter Sunday. I've only been doing a little bit tonight. Most of the day I was doing other stuff, but yeah, here we are, hopefully making some progress. If you have any recommendations on something that's worked well for you or ideas that you think could work well in this app, I'd love to hear them. I'm trying to make things as research based as possible, as based on meeting as many needs as possible, especially needs that aren't being addressed. Oh, I need help coming up with a name. This is one of the hardest parts of me developing apps is so many good names are taken, or you have to like make up a word, and then it's like, how are people supposed to know what that means? So I'd love to hear name recommendations and maybe some feature recommendations. And I'm trying to post daily, so we can have a really quick iteration process. So yep, that's it. My name's Jacob. Thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.